They set it off. The music at the end, I don't know where that comes from. What are we doing?
We set it off. Hello, ladies, gents, everybody out there in listener land. I'm Gene.
And this is Steph.
And this is Let's View It Again. We a podcast about movies, cult classics, things we love, might not love, but classic nonetheless. And that's what we discuss. If you didn't know that already. Hopefully you're a return listener.
Hopefully.
That's what we need. Steph, how you feeling?
Feeling good. Feeling good about this one.
You feeling good about this?
Feeling good about this.
Were you aware of this movie prior? Like, was it one of your favorite films? Is it in your top 10, your top 20?
I don't know necessarily favorites, but it's a movie I've seen a lot.
I can't say the same.
You haven't seen Set It Off a lot?
Listeners, we're reviewing Set It Off today.
Yes.
It's not that I hadn't seen it. I was aware of everything that happened in the movie.
Okay.
So I must have seen it in bits and pieces.
Gotcha.
Because I know I haven't sat and watched it straight through. I'm fairly certain I never did. If I did, it may have just been on in the background, but it was never a movie. I was like, let me put Set It Off on. I've never done that.
Yeah, it was. If I saw it, I'm sure it was on TV because when it came out, you
were a young
kid. I don't think that we saw, I guess, a clean version. I guess it was probably always on TV. But even with that, now that you've seen, both versions, you really don't
think you missed anything.
No, not anything central to the plot.
No.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was on TV all the times I've seen it. Never just went and, let me go rent Set It Off.
Before we begin.
Yes.
I love how I always put you on the spot when we start.
Okay.
I have two important questions. They are germane to the movie that we're reviewing, to our topic at hand. Question one.
Yes.
Stephanie, have you ever set it off?
In this mother? Yeah. Second question.
Well, that kind of leads into my second question. Which is the superior version of Set It Off? Is it Set It Off by Cash Money's Juvenile?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a TC soldier, New Orleans stunner. If your girl leave me, I'ma take everything from her.
Or is it Set It Off by the Lil List Boosie?
You wanna touch, you wanna run your mouth, you want some gangster stretch your mother out, we are set this out.
I don't know.
You only have 3
That's a hard
seconds.
One.
Time's up.
That's too hard.
Is it?
It's a tie.
That's incorrect. Sorry. The answer is Set It Off by Boosie Boo of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's the superior version of that song. Sorry, Juvenile. But this is one thing that, speaking of the song, hold on. We'll get into this movie, listeners and viewers. Set It Off is a particularly African American, if I may, saying. I'm not going to give too much juice away.
Okay.
Calm down. I'm not going to give away recipes. But it's something that's very particular to the African American community because I don't think I've ever heard it in a context outside of our community to be used in any kind of way. Because Set It Off can mean whatever you really want it to mean when you think about it. You know what I mean? A dish could be set off by cayenne pepper. I'm about to set it off with this ingredient.
Okay.
A party can be set off
with the right music.
With the right music. I mean, a little Anita will set the party off right.
Or a fight or something.
Or a fight will set the whole party off. So I think there's a very, very, very African American saying. We don't have a lot of sayings that we get to keep to ourselves. And I think Set It Off is one of them.
I don't know after this.
We have a few. I think Boom Shakalaka was one, but it got taken away from us.
Okay.
With NBA Jam.
Is this
These are the thoughts I had.
No,
these are the thoughts I was having.
Okay.
When I was watching the movie, because I've never heard anyone outside of the community use "Set It Off."
I don't know.
So
if I
we
have
have
either.
"Set It Off." Boom Shakalaka is probably gone now. All Sookie Sookie now.
Oh yeah, I've never heard that outside.
It's something that's very, very community concentrated. And for a bonus point, Boo Boo the Fool is something that we have kept close to the chest all these years. And I appreciate you, my fellow African Americans. I said I had a second part to that, didn't I?
I don't know.
I asked you about the. I don't know where I was going with it, but that's neither here nor there.
It's okay.
If y'all hadn't guessed, we're talking about "Set It Off."
Yes.
Oh, I know where I was about to go.
Okay.
And we'll get into the movie eventually. The soundtrack for this movie, I'm jumping ahead to facts. There's a song, obviously called "Set It Off," by Organized Noise, featuring Queen Latifah, which interpolates "Set It Off" by Strafe. Do you know? Are you aware of this song?
I don't believe.
Set it off, I suggest, y'all.
Set it off, I suggest, y'all. Set it off, I suggest, y'all. Set it off, set it off, come on, set it off.
It's a very I don't know, would they be considered new wave or maybe electronic type music? It's roller skating type music.
Okay.
But I say that to say, we bring this circle full circle. Bring it all the way back around.
All right.
Andre references this song in Spodio the Dopalicious. He was like competing with "Set It Off" in the left ear, what I'm saying? All blends perfectly, let the liquor tell it. So it's funny that Organized Noise would use that interpolation for a song on the "Set It Off" soundtrack.
Wow.
I know, man.
Is it full circle, huh?
Boy, that is a circle.
360, not to be confused with
Not with
180.
180. But we're going to set this thing off.
All right.
Give the people a synopsis.
All right,
for our
short
movie
synopsis. Set It Off follows 4 close friends in Los Angeles, California, who plan to execute a bank robbery, each doing so for different reasons to achieve better for themselves and their families.
That was short and sweet. I'm going to get straight to it because I wasted a lot of time. Set It Off was released 11/6/96. It was shot on a $9 million budget, returning $36 million domestic box office and $5 million worldwide for a total of $41 million. It was director F. Gary Gray's second feature film. He made Friday, the Ice Cube vehicle, the year before this in 1995. He pretty much made his name directing music videos. His first big music video being Ice Cube's Today Was a Good Day. He did some stuff for Dub C. A lot of West Coast artists he did. And I knew this before the movie for some reason. Just me with my trivia. He did Waterfalls for TLC.
Oh, okay.
And another one of the videos, maybe Creep. But I hope I'm not wrong. But I know, so there's a connection there. Once again, Organized Noise, TLC, Atlanta. I don't know what the connection is there. I didn't do a deep dive. He after this film, he did The Negotiator in 98, which is one of my top probably 15 films. He did Law Abiding Citizen in 2009, Fast and the Furious, whatever number in 2017. And his latest work was Men in Black International. I don't think I saw that one. That was in 2019.
No, I don't think I did either.
The Men in Black.
If you did, I'm pretty sure I didn't.
I don't even know. Is Will Smith in this one? In that one?
I don't think so.
Oh.
But I didn't know he had. I didn't know he did all of the ones.
You didn't know he did Negotiator?
I don't know if I just followed him, but definitely not as recent as 2019.
He made an appearance in the film.
Yes, and Friday too, right?
He's in Friday as well,
Yeah.
correct? So he is another person who inserts himself. We're running across this in the films we're reviewing. Do you know the scene he was in?
Now that you say it, he was in Set It Off?
Yeah.
I
Remember
wasn't,
when?
it wasn't when they went to get the guns or anything.
No, that is
okay.
another
I just
cameo.
say that because there are a lot of guys.
No.
So I was like, did I miss him?
Do you remember? I'm sorry for the listeners who hadn't seen this movie. There's a scene when one of the stars, the protagonists, they're outside the apartments, and the guy pulls up on them.
Oh,
in the car.
yeah.
That's him talking in the car. We'll
now,
get to that
yes,
scene.
yes.
Okay.
I see his face now.
I'm sorry. Okay. Had to do a little adjustment.
Okay.
The stars of the film are Jada Pinkett Smith as Stoney. Pinkett had appeared in 1993's Menace to Society, Jason's Lyric, A Low Down Dirty Shame. Both of those were released in 1994. She did Tales from the Crypt, Nutty Professor. All this before this movie, so she was kind of a household name. I like a lot of those movies, matter of fact, especially Tales from the Crypt. Demon Knight. Do you remember that movie? I feel like I'm just stalling. I'm gonna get into the movie. I promise.
Is
listeners.
that the one where they're like trapped in the building?
Correct.
Okay,
It's
got
a really
it.
good movie.
I've seen that one before.
She had her latest big roles were probably people may know her if you're not familiar with the older work. But she was part of the Matrix franchise and Girls Trip. If anyone saw that, Queen Latifah stars as Cleo. She obviously was a household name by 1996. Coming on the backs on the heels of Living Single, hugely popular around that time. This film is her first starring role. Most of her cameos were as Queen Latifah or as a rapper or whatever, because she came from the rap world. If you don't know that, listeners, Queen Latifah is a rapper, UNITY.
She's a singer too, didn't she?
Yeah, she did some singing as well. Matter of fact, I think this
album.
song that's on this soundtrack that I referenced earlier is her singing.
Okay.
You might need to check that out. I might
that out.
finish listening. Her biggest role, may have probably, if you don't know her from this, may have known her from Brown Sugar. She, had a big role in it. In Chicago, I'd never seen that. Both of those were released in 2002. After 2002, she went on to tear pretty much doing Bring It Down the House, Barbershop, Beauty Shop, Hairspray. She the new Equalizer. She has a movie out on Netflix right now called End of the Road with Ludacris. I'm probably going to skip that one.
That one just came out.
Yeah, but whatever. Vivica Fox stars as Frankie. You can go back to listen to our Soulful episode to kind of get her rundown, but she was, Kill Bill, Independence Day mostly. Now she does small roles. The last of the gang is Kimberly Elise. She plays Tashawn. This is her big screen debut. She went on to be in a bunch of more movies, Ugly Crying. She was in John Q, Woman Thou Art Loosed. I don't know. I think some other Tyler Perry movie.
What was the Oprah movie? Did you say it? Beloved. She was in Beloved.
Okay, I did not say that. She was in Beloved. Like I said, she was crying in a lot of more movies.
Yeah.
She has like 44 credits, but nothing really noteworthy outside of Tyler Perry and the Oprah movie.
Yeah, Beloved. Of course, we were young, but I remember it being big.
Yeah.
But Oprah was attached to it.
That was her. She stayed in that, and I guess in that kind of realm. She didn't do any. The most of the movies I saw the credits were small time roles, drama roles. So she didn't. I don't think She didn't stray too far from it. Blair Underwood has a small part in this movie. He has like 87 credits, film credits, a lot of stuff. Speaking of holding stuff close to the chest, is Blair Underwood just black famous? Do white people know Blair Underwood?
I don't know. Did he do soap operas or something?
He had a show, and it's like a medical show, and the name escapes me right now, but I don't know if people are familiar with Blair Underwood. Black people may know him from Crush Groove, where he played Russell Simmons. Well, it was like Russell Walker, but he was playing Russell Simmons, which is an odd casting.
And what's the name of that one?
Crush Groove. You don't know what Crush Groove? This is the Run DMC story.
Okay.
You need to catch up on your films, ma'am. John McGinley, I think I'm saying that right. He plays the white cop, Strode, in this movie. He probably best known as Dr. Cox from Scrubs. Ella Joyce, that's the black cop with the mushroom hair. She probably best known as Rock's wife from Rock. That's all I know her from. Do you know her from anything else that you want to add? Okay. Go to my car. I'm sure. Oh, here we go. and I'll let you get to talking. 1996 facts. I know the crowd is waiting. Oh, they cloned Dolly the sheep in 1996. Jim Carrey became the first actor to earn $20 million for a role in Cable Guy.
Is that one of your favorites by
It
him?
is one of my favorites by him, and we are going to definitely view it again.
Okay.
John Bonet died. Tupac died. Very sad year in 1996. And Red Bull entered the U.S. markets for the first time,
It's been going
changing vodka, college campuses, and heart rates since 1996. Those are the 1996 facts, film facts. This is Set It Off if y'all haven't got it. F. Gary Gray.
All right, so let's get into
And the
it.
F is for film.
Okay. So we open up with Frankie, who's played by Vivica Fox. She's a bank teller, and her bank is robbed. So it kind of opens up with a really intense scene if this is your first time seeing it.
Dub C. robs her, as well as Junior from Players Club.
Yes, he is in there.
I feel like you were going to leave that off. We're
I
not going
mean,
to skip over
it's
that.
not essential.
It is essential.
But yes, she knows these individuals.
Wasn't the name like Darnell or something like that?
I can't remember, but yes.
I feel like
he's
once
in
again I'm
there.
stalling. I apologize. Go ahead.
So her bank is robbed. I say her bank, but the bank that she works at is robbed. And she knows the robbers. We have a customer that's shot in the head. Like that was really unnecessary. I mean, they
It
could have
was.
just gotten the money, but like I said, it's an intense scene to open up the movie. After the robbery, she's grilled by the police about the procedure if there's a robbery. She being, stunned at the fact that a woman's head was blown off in front of her. She didn't remember the procedure. Only one survived, though. Only one of the robbers survived. But police, of course, didn't come as quickly because she forgot the procedure in shock. And she was let go, unfortunately. She made a comment about counting, I believe it was $240,000 worth of money. Well, of course, of money,
Yeah.
but $240,000.
She counted $240,000 worth of shekels.
But anyway, she said that she did it by hand, because she was upset, of course, about them wanting to fire her. So she mentioned that. And I was like, why?
Why was she counting by hand?
Why does she have to count that much money by hand?
I wonder was she like licking her finger with each bill, just one by one.
I just
and had one
figured-
of those small green hats on, like they used to count money with.
Maybe so. I just
Like
thought
a
that was
visor.
interesting. It was like, why would she be counting money by hand?
I feel like that's an oversight.
In this year.
In 1996, I'm pretty sure they had
I
money
feel like they
counters.
had them, but who knows? And also, we move to the next scene, and we see introducing Kimberly, Elise, and Blair Underwood. I didn't know that this was her first.
Hold on, what? Oh, the credits are rolling still.
Yeah,
Okay.
because after this scene, we get some more credits. So, it just opens
I
up.
think I paid attention. Oh, it opened just straight into the bank.
Right,
Okay,
right.
yeah.
If you
I must've
remember, yeah.
misremembered.
But
Or-
they say you see on the screen introducing Kimberly, Elise, and Blair Underwood. Like you said, I didn't know that this was her first major
This is
film.
it?
I don't know, Beloved.
No, that was after this.
It was
obviously.
after it. I don't know which one. And I'm trying to think which one did I see first because I think they weren't that far apart. And we get to the next scene, and we have Stoney, which is played by Jada Pinkett, as you said. Her brother has a high school graduation party, so it looks like a 70s party for him.
Can I
So
interject here?
we're introduced to Stoney, TT played by Kimberly Elise, and Cleo played by Queen Latifah. Yes.
Interesting point here. If any listeners are in their 30s or 40s, we are approximately the same distance from. Okay, I'm skipping ahead. At the party, they're playing Flashlight by Parliament. It seems odd, watching this. Like I'm looking at it with 2022 eyes, but at that time, Flashlight was about 20 years old. And we are about that far removed from a lot of, popular songs that will be playing at a 2000s party. It puts everything in perspective. 1976 seems so long ago.
Yeah.
But it was only 20 years and
at the time
the movie was shot. So now Nelly's Tip Drill would be playing at the party, and
maybe so.
I'm derailing the whole podcast. Okay, go ahead. I apologize.
No, but Stoney finds out during the party that her brother didn't get a scholarship offer to attend college. So she thinks that's the extent of it, which we'll get to later. But he reveals that I would just want to know that everything is cool before I throw you a party. I mean, he's graduating. It's a graduation party, but I thought that was because we learned later on that Stoney is his guardian because they lost their parents, I believe.
Car accident.
Was it car accident? A few years before. So we know that she's basically his guardian. And it was just odd to me that she wouldn't know exactly what his plans are, whether or not he got a scholarship or got in. I thought that was...
I mean, she was young too, so I guess she was.
Maybe she just thought that
she's working hard night and day for the man, so...
Speaking of working, we find out next that they
that was a good segue
for Luther's janitorial services. Well, 3 people work there. We know Frankie worked at the bank when she no longer has a job, but we have TT, Stoney, and Cleo that work for Luther. And we get to a scene next where the police are reviewing the footage from the bank robbery that happens at Frankie's bank. And they see AP design on one of the robbers' head that actually got away, which was the guy. What was his name?
Who, Junior?
Yes,
Junior got away.
If
he had
a
haircut.
That Junior character
with AP for Acorn Projects.
Yes, we found out later that it means Acorn Projects, and then the idea of actually robbing a bank is introduced next. I believe they were speaking about the robbery at Frankie's bank. And Cleo introduces it. And then, Frankie's on board. She's still upset about losing a job, which I get. It's kind of blown off at this point. Definitely by Stoney. It's they're not taking it seriously, but that's how the idea is introduced by Cleo, and Frankie is on board. And then we have Stoney in a compromising position because she is trying to get money for her brother scholarship. Well, he didn't get a scholarship, but for the tuition. She's trying to figure out a way for him to have his tuition paid. We introduced to this character named Nate. He's an older gentleman. I say gentleman, but he's an older guy.
He was still a gentleman about it.
Yeah, whatever. He has a car lot. I believe he's a car salesman.
Correct.
So she requests an advance from him, so that she would be able to pay the tuition on time. Unfortunately, the only way that he would give her the advance is if he sleeps with her. And, she says yes. And
consent is important.
Yes, it was consensual, but I guess she just felt like that was the only way.
She was in a bind.
The only source. She does say that, Nate, I'm in a bind. But, people feel desperate. She was desperate for him to get out, apparently, of Los Angeles, or at least the neighborhood. She was desperate for him to get away, and that was a choice that she made.
What would you do if your brother was all alone on the bedroom floor, crying out because he's hungry, and the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man for a little bit of money?
Because his dad is gone. Was that City High?
That is City High.
That was City High, if you didn't
know. That is
a
song that was playing at the end of life, and for the life of me,
you can't understand why.
I do not understand what that had to do with Ray, Claude, or the Yankees. Shame on you, Wycliffe. Carry on. I apologize.
No, and it moves along, and then Frankie joins the other three to work for Luther with janitorial services, and she brings up bank, the idea of robbing a bank again. So Frankie kind of pushes it. And then we have Stoney's brother. Was it Stevie? Stevie. He reveals that it's not that he didn't get a scholarship.
Well, he didn't
get it. Well, it's not just that.
Oh, okay.
It's not that he got accepted and didn't get a scholarship. We find out that he did not get in at all.
Oh, sucky now.
So yeah, all of that with Stoney and Nate was for nothing. She rips up the check.
Bad move on her part, but it's no need. It's whatever. Because I don't understand why you would tear up the money, but.
Well, she would still have to. It was an advance, so from my understanding, the way I understood is that she would have to go work for him, basically, to work it off. So it's like.
I feel like she already worked it off. But who am I? I don't know the terms of the agreement. I didn't see the contract.
Think that was the term. Those were the terms of the agreement. But Stevie. I want to call Stevie Stoney. They're so close. But Stoney's brother visits the Acorn projects that you brought up earlier.
Correct.
And he visits the bank robber that got away, the one that robbed Frankie's bank. And did he set him up, or was it just like, go get your hair cut? I
don't think he was setting him up. He seems just to be an idiot.
His character.
Yeah, he plays the same character in all his movies.
He really does. You could have
I don't think he
picked him out of this movie and placed him in
Menace to Society.
Any movie that he's played in.
He got stomped out in Menace to Society.
So Stoney's brother gets the AP design and his head cut into his head, and then when he's leaving, we see that the Acorn projects are surrounded by police. They're looking for the guy that actually robbed the bank with the AP on his head. They see him, tell him to stop. He, gets down, follows commands. Unfortunately, he is shot when he is pulling out a bottle of champagne that he got when he visited the guy.
Junior gave him a haircut and champagne, and both led to his demise.
Yes.
Good job, Junior.
Of course, it's like, same stories today. When you view, being an adult, you see it, it's like, that could be a news story that you see today.
It would surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if that was plucked from a headline anyway, especially in 96
and
in Los Angeles.
Who knows? It might have been a part of, an actual story that's interesting.
F. Gary Gray grew up in Los Angeles, so I guess that's why he kind of centered music videos and stuff. And, Friday, all that stuff was happening in L.A. or whatever. So L.A. was, all police departments are horrible, but L.A. was particularly bad. You know what I'm saying? That was, that's 4 years removed from Rodney King.
What was it? I was just about to say, when we reviewed Bad Boys, you talked about how that wasn't too far behind those riots.
So still on the heels of that in their so-called reform, but I feel like I'm off subject again. I apologize. Was that the end of your?
Yes. Okay. Well, the only thing I had left was that we're introduced to the disguises that they're going to use, the wigs and the sunglasses.
Okay. I don't have anything. I don't want to. Like I said, I'm yammering, so I don't want to go too far. But I don't have anything to discuss in Act 1. Did you have anything?
I don't think so. I mean, they pretty much set it up. These are 4 women that need money. That they don't have high paying jobs. They want to get out.
I'll say I do give a shout out. That's what I'm sorry, viewers. That's what I was looking down for, to get my man's name, Luther. Thomas Jefferson Byrd.
Okay.
He passed in 2020. I remember when it happened, but he was in a lot of Spike Lee movies. He was in Girl 6, Clockers, and of course he got Game. I say of course, but if you watched it as many times as I have, he has quotables. So he's another black famous actor. But rest in peace, Thomas Jefferson Byrd. Right on with the right on.
Right on.
You don't want to work for Luther's Janitorial Services. I tell you, boy, we lost a lot of people. I'll move on to Act 2, though. After they decide that robbing the bank is their only option, which it was not, Stoney and the little sheepish, what's her name, TT? Tashawn?
They call her TT.
Yeah. They case the bank, and then they see the little vault thingy with a bunch of money, and they run to Blair Underwood as well. Stoney lies about wanting to open an account, which a huge mistake on her part. Like, why are you talking to because Blair Underwood he's not a bank manager, but he works in some department upstairs.
I don't
He's
know.
out of place anyway.
I don't know if she knew that though.
That he worked. He told her that he worked
but he revealed in what capacity
he was like he was upstairs but he wasn't a manager, but he told her what
he
he
couldn't
did, 'cause
help
he was
her
using it
open
not
an
at all.
account. Yeah.
So he was out of place anyway. But when she tells him that he wants to open an account, Blair is not here, and then he is ready to talk about her withdrawals. You hear what I said? He want to talk about her withdrawals.
Okay. Yes,
they leave the bank, and TT reveals that she can no longer take her son to the daycare anymore because Luther is being very, very mean by taking taxes out of her check. So she had to take the baby with her to work. The whole crew is treating the baby like a leper for whatever reason. They were like, "Hey, put the baby over there, get him out of my face." But we find out that he is a liability because the baby poisoned himself.
Yeah.
In the process of them cleaning the office building for Luther Janitorial. This causes the CPS agent to show up, who is played by Dee Baxter, who is wearing a very big zoot suit at the moment. They take the boy away, and Sheepish tells them that they got to come up with their money. And they said, "Hey, sure, the only way we can get money is by robbing." They jump from...
Isn't that crazy, though? And I know it's a problem now. She had the child there because she didn't have enough money for child care. And instead of them assisting with child care,
they said, "We'll give it back if you have enough money for child care."
They say, "Come up with the money." It's just crazy.
It sounds about right.
I mean, it's what happens now. Instead of giving people resources, they just leave them to stay in the same predicament.
Yeah.
It's just, nothing's new, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
After they decide that robbery is the only way, Vivica gives them the rundown, and they head over to see Dr. Dre at the underground firing range.
So what you need?
I need a favor.
What else is new?
Come on, Black Sam. After all them cars I done stole for you.
Oh, we going there, huh? All right, check it out. Y'all can roll with that right there.
We ain't robbing stagecoaches. I need something I can set it off with.
I don't know. This is the part when they say set it off first. Over, under. Do you know how much time has passed before they say set it off?
No.
Give it plus and minus 5. I'll give you.
55 minutes.
Incorrect. Again. They said they're 40 minutes.
Okay.
They pretty much, hijinks ensue at this moment. They do a lighthearted bank robbery. It's a very weird scene. They come out to that robbery with $12,000. And the gang decides that they have to hit another bank because $4,000 is not going to stretch far, which it doesn't. So naturally, Balboa Savings and Loan is next. I say naturally, but they say it like it's a big spot. Also around this time, the police are starting to get suspicious or get a hunch about who committed the first robbery. So he's putting pieces. This is the white cop Strobe is putting pieces together about who's doing this stuff.
Because those wigs and sunglasses weren't that great.
They weren't. I mean, he has already run into Stoney, obviously, because he killed her brother.
I already ran into Frankie. Because
she robbed the bank. Well, she was at the bank robbery at the beginning. So he knows them by face, and he's putting together pieces. They head to Balboa Savings and Loan. The robbery hits a snag because of a series of unfortunate events. There are police officers already outside of the bank. They have to make a getaway. It's not a clean getaway. They ride through the bank in a Suburban, run over some teddy bears and stuff. But this robbery gets them $296,000. And they say, "This is enough. We're out. We're leaving in 3 days." I don't know about you.
It's always 3.
But if
3
I
less?
had, what's the split on that?
What do you mean?
On $300,000 between 4 people, 55,000. Am I doing math? I feel like I should stop doing math on this show in my head because I always make a mistake and I look crazy. So 50,000 is 200, and I need to know. Yeah, that was right. Yeah,
You sure?
not particularly.
Wait a minute. How much was
It's
it?
290. So we just go round it to 300,000.
It was 300,000.
So 50,000 gives them 200. So we got 100,000 to count for. So there's another 50. No, there's another 25. So $75,000 would set you up nicely,
75.
ish.
Well,
have to
yeah,
pay taxes on
you
it.
rounded up.
But yeah, that would get you out of town. So I don't know why they're waiting 3 days. But that's neither here nor there. That is
Yeah,
end
the
of
only
my
thing I
section.
could think is that they just want to, play it cool. I don't know how them leaving the day after a bank robbery would have been, suspicious. Because who knows?
Stoney
you did
doesn't
it.
have the family to inform of this. Everybody's dead in her family.
Yeah,
we never get
she lost
anybody else.
everybody.
Cleo, she has a girlfriend. That's it.
TT's
Well, the sheep, she,
child has been taken.
and it's nothing you can do at that moment. I guess it's nothing that's going to happen in 3 days anyway.
Well, she couldn't leave. Didn't they say something about her
maybe
having
so.
court? So I guess
she
I
did
guess
yeah.
I guess she was going
maybe
to stay.
maybe that's
either
why
way.
maybe they were waiting for the next court appearance. We'll just say that.
Yeah, but for
Any,
some reason they're waiting.
Any Act 2 notes, thoughts, concerns? I have some. At this point in the movie, I want you to know that I was very, very irritated by Kimberly Elise and her sheepish act. It drove me crazy. And she always talk like this. I don't want to go do no bank robbery, y'all.
What was that?
That's how she was talking the entire movie, and it drove me insane. I was happy that she met her demise. Hope I'm not skipping ahead.
What? What
Bank
you
robbery.
mean you were happy? In the sense that you were tired of seeing her.
I was
just
tired of
so
her character. I
stern.
didn't want Kimberly Elise to
Who?
Kimberly.
See?
Anyway, I don't like how bank robbery was presented as the only option. Is could have had a lot of other things to do, and they followed Vivica Fox blindly because she was a teller. And I don't know any teller who would just be like, oh yeah, sure, the inner workings of a bank. They went along with it. We just chalk it up to being young.
Yeah, we don't get any idea that she has another job, but I've never been a bank teller.
To know anything.
I've never counted $240,000 by hand, so
Yeah, hey, that's
maybe
get
she
us a lot of
spent a
experience.
lot of
They put on
time
money
there.
to do this. So yeah, she spent I know 2 days counting that much money by hand.
yeah.
Also in this section is the entire subplot of Stoney and Blair Underwood's relationship was completely unnecessary.
It's
Blair
not
Underwood
necessary
also
for the
had a very
story.
tiny mustache, and it made me uncomfortable. At this point, they also, like I said, the first robbery, it's pretty much played up for laughs. It's like hilarious. Like, oh, look at them, they can't get right. TT runs out.
Yeah.
She gets nervous beforehand.
So that 12,000 gets split by 4.
It's 4 to begin with. It was going to be 3 because Vivica Fox.
Yeah, that's
didn't
what I'm
want to
saying.
give any money.
So they only got the
Yeah,
3,000.
but it's a very they kind of lose their way. They didn't know if this wanted to be serious bank robbery movie or is it a Danny Ocean style heist kind of fun movie. It was very lost. Then this also has the part where they do the I think this is before Balboa. They do the weird Godfather scene around the table.
Cleo Menza, can you respect our conditions? Can you live with the terms that your dons have set forth?
Yes, Godfather.
To Sean Scalina from Detroit. Are you cool with all of this?
I am.
And you, Don Stoney from the Bronx. Can you accept your Godfather's terms?
All right, then.
We back in effect. Next stop is Balboa Savings and Loan.
Oh,
It was so cringe. It was like,
it?
It was very, very cringe.
Is it cringe every time The Godfather is brought up?
It is,
If
yes,
somebody does
correct.
this scene?
Unless it's in a comedy, but this wasn't a comedy, but it was playing itself as a comedy at that moment. Nothing else in this movie gave us an indication that the comedy was about to happen. And then it was like we saw a young boy get murdered. We saw a lady get a shot in the face within the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's nothing
I
comedic
don't
about
know.
it.
Yeah, not comedic, but I guess on a realistic level, like, I mean, that's what happens to these people, these families. You know, they have to keep going.
Oh.
No, I'm just saying in
that,
that, just in that respect, she had to go back to work. He just graduated. You had a party for him. We'll say the next day he's killed. You still have to go back to work. You're trying to get him out. Now you feel trapped. TT had her baby taken. Frankie has no job. What did Cleo do? Was she a mechanic?
Cleo working for Luther. I was talking about before that.
Well, there are scenes where she's...
I don't think she did anything.
I don't know if it was her house.
Drink 40.
Or just work on the car, I guess. But yeah, she worked for Luther too. But
that was later, I guess. Well, now the entire time, I suppose, she lost her job and he let her back though.
Oh yeah, that's
what it
right.
was. So she was with Luther the whole time.
She came back.
I'm sorry, listeners. We are rambling.
I don't think so. No, I was just thinking about what you said. How didn't know if it was a comedy at some point or
it was very.
Yeah, I guess it's just
like I said, between
comedic relief.
Kimberly, Elise, and oh no, y'all, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I just need their money, y'all.
Okay. Yes, she was very sheepish.
Yeah, it was very grating.
But we'll move on and we'll
give her an F for this effort.
We'll drive this home.
This is the F in Gary Gray.
They end up, for some reason, putting the money in, I guess, an air duct, right, at one of the buildings that they clean.
This is the plot to Blue Streak all over again.
Yes. I mean, I don't know where I would hide.
$296,000.
I mean, what they made, I think it was Cleo made the comment, or TT asked, why were they hiding it there? And I think Cleo was like, if they come looking for us, where you think the first place they're going to look is at the house, which I get. I mean, but I'm just like, we couldn't dig a hole I don't know.
You gonna hide it in the wood?
I don't know. But
Anything
I guess
better than the ventilation duct.
Well, who would have been looking there unless the building had some scheduled maintenance? But anyway, Luther finds it somehow. I don't know why he would be looking in ducts.
The ventilation duct.
Maybe there were cameras. If there were, I guess it's just a decision like, y'all really aren't that great, which I know they aren't expert bank robbers.
And it could maybe that would have made more sense if they had included that in the movie, like he was watching from afar or something.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, again, why he would be in the air ducts. But anyway, he does steal the money. You have Frankie, TT, and Chloe that confront him. They find out that he's at some local hotel. Stoney is away with her lover
She's
at
on
this
a date
time.
with Tiny Mustache Man.
Blair Underwood's character. Luther pulls a gun on Cleo, and TT finds another gun. Or brought one, but anyway, she shoots Luther and he dies. He was at the hotel with a woman, so there's a witness to the crime.
White woman at that, Luther.
I don't know what that matters. She's a witness nonetheless. Cleo decides to keep her license as insurance, as she calls it, so that hopefully the witness is scared into not identifying any of them. So, the next plan, because Luther has spent their money, is to rob a bank and leave town. I don't know why they couldn't just... Well, I guess they just didn't have money. I guess they had spent all of their money. Because it was like, if y'all think y'all are, the police are looking for you all, it seems like we just want to get out of town.
Because...
That would be our first order,
they had, at this time, robbed 2 banks.
Yes.
and made a lot of ruckus for themselves.
Cleo gets arrested on the street.
Yes. We are very hot right now.
Very hot.
Let's not do this final score. But,
Yes.
I mean, every crime movie has to have the final score.
Yes. So, like I said, instead of them leaving town because things are hot, they decide we're going to rob and then leave. It didn't make sense to me, but whatever. Another note that I made was that they were talking about leaving town, and I said this earlier. TT couldn't go because
She
son
had a court date.
Yeah, she had a court date for her son like the next day. Like I said, I guess she was just gonna stay behind. Frankie makes a comment while they're discussing how they're gonna do this, that no one has successfully robbed this bank, this final bank they're gonna rob.
Correct.
I'm just like, this seems like the bank that we should not rob.
Let's try a credit union or something.
That we should not rob if no one else has done it successfully and the police are.
And they do it in
zoning
it has to be like 3 days, two or 3 days. So like no kind of planning. Well, they looked, I guess at the beginning, they kind of, this is Vivica A. Fox's bank. So I guess isn't this her bank? Or not?
I don't
this
know.
Is Blair Underwood's bank.
Yes,
Okay.
it wasn't her bank. Yes, this is the bank
That has the most amount of money, supposedly.
Right. So I get needing money, but maybe we could have found another $300,000 bank.
Well, that is gone. That 300,000 is gone. So let's just try to get 100 and call it. We done. Somebody rob a liquor store. Something easy.
Well,
You could have robbed multiple liquor stores. They probably less security. Y'all kind of already, we're battle hard. We're not scared. Even Sheep's girl, she done shot somebody now, so everybody kind of,
everybody's in it.
Everybody's
you can't,
in it, man.
You can't escape now. Another thing I made note of is that when they were at the diner discussing, their final attempt to rob a bank, Cleo decides to pull out the mask that they were going to use in public. I thought,
at the Waffle House.
At the diner or whatever. At this point, it's just like, why are we doing this in public?
It was no need for us to see the costumes at that moment. But what do I know? I've never robbed a bank.
So they make it to the last bank. They get out without the mask on. I didn't understand that. I was like, are there no cameras? Like, why would I get out of the vehicle without?
It would have been
my
a harder
mask?
scene if they got out the car with the mask. Well, maybe if they got out with the mask, then like onlookers like, okay, something's up. So they had to wait till they get a little closer.
Maybe so. But it seemed like they went right in. But anyway, they're robbing the bank. Cleo, of course. I say of course because we always see somebody gets greedy. TT is about to leave with the bag of money. She tells her, get some more money. Stoney is like, no, let's go. TT gives in to Cleo. Just with the timing of when the police officers show up, it would appear that they could have made it out without any interaction with the security or the police officers. The police officers, what's his name? Strobe, that was his name. They had actually just left. Remember, they had just left that bank, giving them an overview of how these ladies rob banks, and so they make their way back. But anyway, like I said, Cleo gets greedy, and they end up
in a confrontation
with the officer. TT gets shot by a security guard while they are surrendering. Her and Stoney are surrendering. He steps in, shoots TT. They shoot back and forth.
Queen Latifah pull out a Uzi.
Yes.
I mean, she didn't put, but she had it with her. But
I mean, yeah. And then, tragically, TT dies in the back of the getaway car,
which is
or truck.
Oh, she didn't. Oh, yeah, she died in a truck, and then they jump in a getaway car, which is tell the people what this gang of bandits chose to get away in. Tell them, Steph.
Cleo's car.
A 1962 drop top Impala with Dayton's.
Yes, a very flashy car.
The most conspicuous car you could choose, and the one with the least handling
or one that is
getaway ability.
One that is tied to one of the robbers.
Mind you, we've seen her like she's stolen like 3 cars, with a Suburban, an Explorer, and like another little car. But she breaks into them with ease, no problem, and they still chose
throws out the CDs. That was another thing that I was like, okay, she keeps doing this, and I
Right,
know
it's
it's
just
part
like,
of the story, but yeah, I mean, they play up the fact that they're amateurs in the movie.
I mean, maybe that's
you
what
know,
it's all meant. Then I'm thinking too much
They
about
are
it.
amateurs. Cleo dies, and that famous scene. I want to say I read the other day that Queen Latifah doesn't take any roles where she dies, because she won't have a chance to be a part of a sequel.
Oh.
So, there could be no Set It Off 2, I guess. I don't know if it's directly tied to this movie. I've never heard of them having a sequel, but I think I read that not too long ago that she does not take movies where she dies because she doesn't have opportunity to be in a sequel. So maybe that's just, smart business.
Never stop Mike Myers.
But
Michael Myers, not Mike Myers, the actor, but Michael Myers from Halloween. I feel like I botched that whole thing. Go ahead.
Okay, the police, for some reason, what's his name again? I forget.
Strobe.
The white police officer.
Go ahead.
Is that
his name is Strobe now. Dr.
But anyway,
Cox.
he sees Stoney on the van. Looks like they're going to Mexico or something.
A charter bus,
basically, and he just lets her go. I just thought that was very unrealistic.
Well, he shot her brother.
He did.
Well, he didn't shoot her. I guess he probably had a bullet in there too. But
I believe he was leading that operation.
Gotcha.
But I still don't think a police officer would have mercy on somebody that
they
just
would not.
robbed banks.
And multiple people died.
So yeah, let's wrap this up. Stoney makes it where she's going. She cuts her hair. She calls
Blair Underwood.
her boo,
Blair
Underwood.
Do we say his name? Doesn't matter.
I don't remember. I mean, like you say,
Rodney.
It could have been anybody in that role. It was really unnecessary. It didn't really add a lot to the plot, but whatever.
It took away because
she cuts her hair.
The movie is longer than this podcast. That's why we're talking so long, because there was a lot to get through.
And I don't think watching it before, I don't remember it being 2 hours. But when you sit through it and watched it again, it was like, okay, let's get to it. But she cuts her hair. She calls her boo, Blair Underwood. She drives away in a Jeep, and that is the end.
They set it off, man.
They set it off. The music at the end, I don't know where that comes from. What are we doing?
We set it off.
Yes. But that is Set It Off. Would I watch it again? Yes. I don't know how many times I've watched it.
After doing homework on it, it'll be a couple years before I watch it. Any final thoughts, though, so we can wrap up, because I know we are gone. We are on it.
I don't have any final thoughts.
It's a pretty cool second film for Everett Gary Gray. Could have left out Tiny Mustache Man. Had some cool elements to it. I didn't like the comedic element from the gang or from the white officer. And
yeah, he throws in a few jokes.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
No reason.
And his sidekick is just,
Yeah, Rock's wife was being unnecessarily mean, but she was being true to a cop's character.
Yeah, she stayed in character.
So yeah,
that's it.
Did you have anything that you wanted to add?
I'm good.
All right, y'all. Set it off, I suggest, y'all. Yeah, man. Check out the movie. Hope y'all like it. Check out Blair Underwood's Tiny Mustache. Check out D. Baxter's Big Zoot Suit. And you're in for a good time. We out.
Till next time, y'all.
On the left, I suggest while we're left. Sorry, set it off, I suggest y'all set it off.